Hey everyone, this is a message for all of you who subscribed to my crowdfunding project towards the end of last year. Firstly, I want to thank you really very sincerely for your patience. This has been a much harder, more intense project than I had imagined it would be, and I'm very pleased to say that the final results are now almost ready. The project is being printed at the moment. My original idea was to create a series of stories that were very much inspired by the life and the work of my grandfather, Sardar Iqbal Ali Shah, and two projects that he did in his lifetime. One of them was a small book called Eastern Moonbeams, which was printed in only a handful of copies when he was in his early 20s in Edinburgh. And another was a book he wrote called The Golden Pilgrimage. And it was a story inspired by maybe Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, as it's been said, where he told a story in a story, in a story, in a story, through the mouths and through the lives of various travelers. When I came up with the idea of the Caravanserai Stories, my thinking was to create something very special and something that people would be proud to have in their homes and that would touch people in a kind of inside-out, zigzag sort of way. This project has gone through all kinds of incarnations, and if you believe me or not, although there are 8 stories, I have produced, I suppose, about 35 stories for it, and one by one I deleted them or put them in a file somewhere on my hard drive, and I kept writing stories until the 8 final tales were perfect and that they all worked together in a strange way, as if a kind of alchemy was taking place. I have the first and actually the one and only set of these stories here. They are hand assembled, and I am a writer and not a businessman, and so although your generosity has been sublime and I'm so grateful for it, I've lost a fortune printing them, and I can see my friends who are businessmen rolling their eyes. But what is important to me is one thing, and that was creating something astonishing. And I hope and pray that you regard what I've created for you as being that. There are 125 copies printed of each story, and no more in this edition. I may do a collection of all the stories later, but I don't know whether that'll happen. For now, I just wanted to show them to you in a kind of gallery look at them. This is the first one. Then they're in no order, I should say that, but they can be known by the covers because they're all different. I'll just show them off. The first one is called Imaginist, or this one is called Imaginist. And as you see, they're all joined together in kind of concertina, hand taped together. And the stories have these remarkable illustrations, most of which are 18th century lithographs. And there's a colophon at the back, and each one will be signed and numbered. So that's Imaginist. This one is called Wellspring. And I think out of all the stories, this is my favorite as a story. This one is called Jin Law. And this is very, very special to me too, and I've dedicated it to my son Timur. It's called Mellified Man. And then this one is called Ghoul Brothers. It's the only one for which the artist who did the illustrations came through. She vanished and didn't do any of the others, which kind of left me high and dry. But I gave a sneak peek at her work earlier in the year. This one is called Hourglass, and I've dedicated this to my beloved daughter Ariane, and I'm very touched by that story. And then this one is called Skeleton Island, which is maybe the strangest of all the tales. Let me just find one of the images here. I love the images that I found for Skeleton Island. And this one is called Jin's Treasure, which is another that I am so proud to have written. And again, the illustrations that I've chosen are kind of amazing, and I'm so happy to have found them. As I say, this project was a labor of love, and it was something that I hope sets the path that I'm on clearly apart from other writers who are still enslaved by mainstream publishers. I feel so blessed that I could come up with an idea, and through the generosity of those who have crowdfunded it, to see it come to fruition. And it's a project that I hope will inspire others, especially writers, but illustrators and anyone with a creative vein, to believe in themselves and have fun and create. Because in a way, as humans, that is all that really matters. Thank you all so much for believing in this project, and I'm hoping to do another one similar quite soon.